Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. Boy, I really thought the Libertarian Party would be, as you know, have been better, but apparently we got Chase Oliver, an interesting choice for nominee for the Libertarian Party. And we're going to go over that, but I hope you all had a great Memorial Day. And honoring the men and women that died for our country and as you know, the respect we offer for them. But today we're going to be talking about this guy, Chase Oliver, the Libertarian nominee, what happened in the last couple of days. So, those of you who do not know, Donald Trump and RFK Jr. showed up at the convention for the Libertarians. It did not really go so well for them as we anticipated, right? Because these libertarians are not so keen with Trump. I'm telling you straight out. Libertarians do not like Trump. Why? Well, just like the Democrats, they view Trump as too authoritarian. Although I could argue that Donald Trump has a libertarian streak, they have a lot of Trump derangement. They don't like what he's done with the border. They don't like what he's done with his plans with the wall. Sure, he had a good economy, but everything has to be completely free in the Libertarian Party. You have to have guns. You have to have abortion. You have to have gay marriage. You have to have legal cannabis. All that stuff. And apparently, of course, despite all the problems our country has been going through with leftists, not just Joe Biden, but Free Palestine and all of this stuff, etc. The libertarians don't really think much about it. Instead, they turn around and they decide to nominate a leftist. Now, to be clear, the Libertarian Party is not obligated to a certain position on the political spectrum. They are big tent, meaning they purposely keep themselves off the political spectrum in order to catch certain votes off the liberal, conservative, etc. So they don't like to take a position because they believe that position would kind of hurt them. But in the end of the day, it's also known as catch-all, because that's what catch-all political party, because you're literally catching all the votes you can. But that's sort of the theory. But apparently, we know he's not going to win, but a good successful run for Chase would probably be a 1%. And to be quite honest with you, it could play out like that. It honestly could play out like that. And we're kind of hoping that Chase Oliver gets some votes, because then again, there's another leftist in the game. And as you know, 2024 has been the race of leftists. The Democrats are jumping up and down. This is a diverse race. No, it's not really. I mean, it's not really diverse if everyone's thinking the same. It's all run by leftists except for Trump, who's actually a based conservative. But you got the third party. You got Joe Biden, the actual king of the leftists. Then you got, as you know, Cornel West. You got Chase Oliver now, and Chase Oliver, I'll go over in a little bit, but yeah, we got him. And then we got, let's see, Cornel West, Jill Stein from the Green Party. We got RFK Jr., which a lot of liberals are disowning because he opposes the propaganda, like forced masks and vaccines. He's pro safe vaccine, he says, but no, that's apparently not. That's misinformation to be pro safe vaccine. We have to be accepting to all vaccines, even vaccines that supposedly has harmed him, and as you know, and made his health deteriorate. So they're saying he's being pro conspiracy theory, even through the hardship he went through, and then so yeah, like I said, this race has been a race of leftists, and as you should know, this is going to very well benefit Donald Trump. Reason being, taking a look at 2016, you got a race with third parties like the Green Party and the Constitution Party, the Reform Party. You got all those parties, but both of these parties are from the right and from the left. They're kind of mixed up. They're come from different platforms, but right now this looks like it's going to be a recipe for disaster. For Democrats. Reason why? Because there's just too many leftists. In fact, I don't think we actually have a conservative who has a that's actually on comes from the third party, but we'll see. Of course, there's possibly going to be the Constitution Party, but the Constitution Party did so bad in 2020, and I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But the major players seem to be getting over 1%. That, of course, what we are probably going to see here. If you take a look at Chase Oliver, the first poll, including Chase Oliver, that's most likely going to hurt him. It hurts Joe Biden at the end of the day. Donald Trump wins 42% of the popular vote. But yeah, this is a March 2024 poll, interestingly enough. So, what ended up happening, and why am I so antagonistic on this Chase Oliver guy? Okay, Chase Oliver, I would say, is more liberal, a more Dean Phillips liberal, a more moderate liberal, or a moderate Democrat than a libertarian. And he seems to be, ugh. Yeah. He seems to be very, as you know, pro left, as you know. He is pro abortion, but as you know, he is LGBT. And the Libertarian Party doesn't really have a problem with the LGBT. They support gay marriage, they support gay rights. That's the Libertarian part. That's the social Libertarian part. They think, you know what, they're human. Everyone should have the pursuit of happiness to do whatever they want. So let them marry. That's the way they think. But don't go and get that stuff into schools, and don't go and spread that around to other, as you know, communities that are religious. Just respect their rights too. Respect each other. Respect parental rights, etc. Um, I don't know if apparently Chase Oliver kind of does that. I don't know. It's alleged that he supports masking. I don't know, but what I've been hearing from Red Eagle Politics, this guy is a leftist. Okay, this guy's a leftist. And to be honest, yeah, he says he believes in the gospel. I mean, okay. I have a hard time believing. Oh, okay. Maybe he does. I can't question Chase Oliver's faith. Okay, I can't question how deep he is, but typically, if he is a deep has deep faith in the gospel, then you would respect and follow what the gospel teaches, right? Which means man and woman marry, right? Not man and man, not woman and woman. And once again, I'm not saying this is just Christianity, right? Because the Muslim community would not tolerate a Muslim man and a Muslim man marrying, or vice versa, a woman and a woman marrying. No, they wouldn't tolerate that. The Jewish faith is reforming. They're more there are more Orthodox Jews that oppose that. But then again, if they're more reforming, they're more okay with it. But just using the Muslims, for example, if the Muslims are allowed to crack hard on people that are Muslim, affiliate as Muslim, and are gay, then why can't Christians? I mean, the Christian faith does literally teach only woman, man and woman, not man and woman and woman. Okay? I personally still believe that marriage should be between a man and a woman, and that, especially if you're Christian. But you know what? I'm not going to criticize that if you're not Christian. Chase Oliver, basically, if he wants to be gay, then he should expect backlash from Christians, because once again, that's the counterculture in the faith, right? That's what the Christian faith teaches: man and woman, not man and woman. So once again, that's a fact. Okay, guys, that's a fact. And there's some Christianity, like progressive Christianity, in the Protestant, there's like Protestant sects, but overall 60% of Christianity, Catholics included, Orthodox, they strongly oppose gay marriage, and they will openly tell you that they prefer that society as a whole should be a man and a woman when it comes to marriage. So obviously Chase Oliver, realistically wouldn't be getting away with that if he was Catholic, or an Orthodox. So he most likely is Baptist or comes from some Protestant sect. But yes, interestingly enough, so he is religious despite being LGBT. And I'm not saying LGBT can't be religious. They can, but it just doesn't make sense, okay? If you're religious and you are a believer of the gospel, you're going to believe what the gospel tells you about everything, including marriage. He literally says he's a deep believer of the gospel. And here he doesn't follow the gospel's teaching on marriage. So it's just confusing. It's confusing and misleading. So I want to take a look at gun rights, because libertarians have a huge streak when it comes to gun ownership. During a 2022 debate with Raphael Warnock, because he also ran in 2022 and for U.S. Senator, Oliver expressed his support for gun rights. So despite being wokety woke, he seems to support he seems to support gun ownership, like most of the Libertarian Party. I think that's what kind of led him through. Most libertarians are thinking, you know what, he's gay, but that's his truth, and I can't necessarily tell him that he can't be gay, because that's not my place. And that's, once again, the libertarian way of thinking. But just, once again, keep it to yourself, right? That's personal. I don't know if they support Pride Month. I think to a point, the libertarians believe that you have a right to celebrate if you want to celebrate, but don't force people to celebrate with you. You can invite, but Yeah, he was a former Democrat, too. He was an independent for a year and then became a libertarian, here. But yeah, he's definitely, if he was a Democrat, he would be a, he would definitely be the, more centrist Dean Phillips type of Democrat. But yeah, let's take a look at the election results, convention. But this is what it's looking like right now, primary wise. Makes sense. Oliver is picking up 6 states, but he's getting away with 3,000 votes. The most popular choice was Charles Bali, who at the end of the day won 56.2% of the popular vote, 22,000 people in total. And however, Bali only won California. And as you know, that makes sense because that's probably where the 22,000 people are coming from. Because once again, bigger population, the more amount of libertarians you just might have. But yes, you'll see Oliver got away with Arizona, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Iowa, Indiana, Connecticut. So, and that's pretty much putting him in second place. I don't know what the 6 states means, but honestly, seeing Charles Bali win 1 state, that didn't really guarantee him the nomination. You'll see the first convention ballot was pretty competitive. Once again, I think you need a slick majority. You do, because believe it or not, they do ballots after ballots if not one candidate wins a majority, which most likely it won't. But this is what the first alignment looks like. Then you got the final alignment, and that was enough. You saw Chase Oliver cross the boundary line. Uncommitted, there were some uncommitted votes over here, but eventually, as you knew, the nomination went to Chase Oliver in blue. But I don't know, there may have been a process of, it's not really a process of elimination. It's more if the convention members the delegates. Well, I don't think, no, they didn't do delegates in this election. They went by popular vote, and I guess the delegates were basically free to vote for whoever in the national convention. So interestingly enough, there were people started out divided, and like all conventions, as it progressed, people begin to change their mind. Oh, I want to go home and watch, I don't know, whatever. And they go, and I'm going to vote for so and so we can speed this up. So that's what happens. And eventually you get into as you know, a 2-on-2 race. In this case, it was Oliver versus uncommitted. So this is what it was looking like. Yeah, they didn't want to consider Trump. They didn't want to consider RFK Jr. too. If they're going to turn down RFK Jr., they're definitely not going to accept Trump. Period. But like I said, people are saying, and even radical politics is saying, oh, this is going to really help Trump. Yeah, to a point, yes, when it comes to adding another leftist in the game. But do you think the libertarians are going to end up rejecting him? Well, first off, we haven't really seen so far libertarian backlash. He's a moderate libertarian. That is a very accurate said description of Chase Oliver. A moderate And the Libertarian Party is pretty much the opposite of radical. There are some people that might join him. A lot of people may not like his wokeness, and they might branch up to RFK Jr. But I personally think they're going to go with RFK Jr. more than Trump, just personally, because seeing Trump's previous relations with the Libertarian Party was not really good. And I expected him to be booed at the convention because, once again, he's a Republican. He's been someone who has angered the Libertarian Party in some accounts as president. And yeah, there was a small chance that he may convince those delegates, but apparently Trump, it was mainly 90% boos. And like expectedly, RFK was booed too. And I thought they would definitely love him because of the mask and the vaccine stance, but apparently that wasn't really the case. So, yeah, I don't really have much to talk about, but what do you guys think? June 4th, Super June's Day is coming up. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next political episode.